Alrighty then. Well, welcome again to another one of our conversations here. Boy, I am looking forward to this one. This one is going to be about communication. This is a massive one because I believe that every couple needs to be able to really be able to communicate with excellence to get their relationship as being an efficient, effective one. And of course, when you're getting married or in your relationship, you hear people talking. Once they here are the big rules, right? The big ones, the big topics, right? Is you've got to be able to communicate, right? And money is a big one. And of course, these are some of the big do's and don'ts. And so I want to talk a little bit about communication. Over the years, I think my wife and I, we've developed these five levels of communication that we talk about. And so I just want to share a brief idea of these levels and my advice if you are married or dating or even friendship can really use some of this, that you consider these five levels. And my encouragement is to live on level 4 or live on level 5 if you can get to. Level 1, 2, and 3, no good. Try and get off of those and get to the other level. So here we go. Level 1. This is a level that you should not live on, but unfortunately, most people live on this level. And unfortunately as well, married couples also live on this level. All right. And so level 1 is called cliche. Cliche. All right. So it means that you have no meaning behind what you're saying. You're just saying stuff just because it's the expected answer. It is not the real answer. It's not the true answer. It's just the expected answer. So someone walks up to you and says, "Hey, how you doing?" You go, "Fine." Your dog could have just died. Your car could have just broken down. You might have just simply lost your shoe. It doesn't matter. You walk into church and someone say, "How are you doing today?" You say, "Fine. I'm good," or "blessed and well dressed in the Spirit of Christ," or whatever you say. All good. There's no truth behind it, and it's not that you intentionally are trying to lie. It's just that's what they expect you to say, and so you say it. And I remember one time there was a young man. I walked to the church. I intentionally did it. He said, "Hey, Pastor, how you doing?" I was like, "Man, I'm depressed, suicidal, and just really near killing myself." And he was like, "What?" He's like, "What?" I just want to see if he was listening or not. But you'll be surprised how many people will say, "Oh, cool, nice," because they already have a cliche in mind, It's the expected answer. And so cliche, we got to get away from that. The second level is reporting activities. Reporting activities, unfortunately, a lot of married couples live there. And boy, I think it's one of those levels that's one of the most dangerous levels of communication. Simply because it feels like you're talking a lot, but because there's no depth to it, it leaves you still empty. And so a man especially would say, "Man, but I spoke to you 3 times today." And the wife might be more like, "No, we haven't spoken yet, But here's what the conversation was about. "Hey, who's picking up the kids from soccer practice today? You or me?" "Okay, me." "Okay, what time is it supposed to be over?" "Okay." All right, you call back and say, "Oh, did you get something to eat for dinner later on tonight?" "No, I'll pass it." "Where are we going?" "Okay." All right, and then the next conversation is, "Okay, it's time to put the kids to bed. Can you?" Right? So you spoke 3 times there, but they were just simply reporting activities. There's no depth to it. There is nothing sharing about that. It's just, hey, what's happening here? What's happening there? Who's feeding the dog? Who's feeding the cat? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? Hey, can you wash the dishes? Can you write? Whatever it is, it's communication, but it's just reporting activities. All right. And I want to give you an example of this, probably using an accident. All right. So I'll use this on another level again to show you the difference. Okay. So I'm driving home. I saw an accident on Commercial and University. And I get home and I tell my wife, "Hey, I saw an accident on Commercial and University." All right. That's reporting the activity. This car was heading north. This car was heading west. And they collided in the intersection. And that's it. Right. No That's it. And so that again might seem like I'm sharing my day, right? My boss came into the office and he was spitting mad. That seems like I'm sharing my day, but it still leaves you empty. And I'll explain why in a second. The third level is sharing ideas with a careful eye. All right. The third level is sharing ideas with a careful eye. And so here's what we do. We start telling somebody something and you're looking at them to see their response. If they are not responding favorably, you shut it down, change the direction of the conversation, and you just leave it there. Have you ever done that before? I'm sure you have, right? Where you're telling somebody something and you just you realize that, they are not too happy at this moment. So you're like, oh yeah, you just kind of play it off and you just kind of change the conversation. That's when you're trying to share yourself, but you realize that that person really can't handle it, or you think they can't handle it. All right. And so, that's level number 3. Now, those 3 comprise most of our conversations. And that's really sad because those are the 3 most superficial levels of communicating. All right. Level 4 and 5, I believe, are where it's where every couple should endeavor to live and stay. All right. So level 4, sharing feelings and emotions. All right, sharing real feelings and emotions. I'm going to bring you back to that car accident, okay? So I go home and I tell my wife, hey, I saw an accident on the corner of Commercial and University. One was heading north, one was heading west, and they collided. But man, I just, as I saw those people, man, I couldn't help but think about my brother, who died. And there's a sadness that hit me, and I don't even know why. I just felt so sad within, And man, I didn't expect it to shake me up like that, but it did, So now I'm telling you about the accident, but I'm also telling you how it affects me personally. All right. I'm not just asking you, hey, can you just wash the dishes? But I'm also expressing to you that as a mom, because usually it's wives that care about that. There are times that fathers do as well. Not common, but there are cases where it's such. They may share with you a story such as, well, it makes me feel like a failure as a mother if I go to bed and the kitchen is dirty, because my mother always equated this clean house with success as a wife. And so there's a sense of failure that I experience and I feel. I don't know why it's there. Well, I think I do know why, but it's there. And so can you just help me with that? Because it helps me as an individual. All right. And so it's more than just simply activities, but you're sharing your life with that person. You're sharing how you really feel about things and the activities that are taking place. All right. So you're giving a backstory as well with your conversations. And again, of course, it's not every single thing you have to give a backstory to, right? But you get what I'm saying. You're sharing your life. You're sharing yourself in communication. That's sharing real feelings and emotions. The last level is what we call symphony of the soul. Symphony of the soul. And that is, think about a symphony, think about, a band even, right? Where you have the violin, the cello, the double bass, you have the timpani, you have all of these instruments that are being played. They're not the same instruments. And in some cases, for those that are kind of know music, the music itself, the notes being played are different notes. They're not even the same notes. And so the notes may make a chord that sounds really good together, but there are different notes, different instruments, and yet still when they're played, they complement each other. They don't compete, they complement. That level of communication, man, I'm telling you, very few people really experience that, but it is a phenomenal place to be in communication, that when you begin to share yourself, you don't feel like you have to be exactly like that other person. You could have a different idea that complements their idea, that complements themselves. It's not competing. Unfortunately, most young couples compete against each other. In fact, most of their communication is about fixing each other. Good luck with that. because I'm telling you, it doesn't work. It is not your job to fix your spouse. It is your job to love your spouse, okay? To appreciate your spouse, not fix them. Let God fix them. God will do that, right? But it's your job to appreciate them. If you couldn't appreciate them, you shouldn't. Anyhow. All right. So here it is. Symphony of the Soul says, I'm not changing you, and you're not changing me. We are in so much agreement that we harmonize, right? We harmonize. And I think when you begin to work with your spouse rather than against your spouse, your communication changes. All right. So I pray that that helps. That's a real quick video here. Please like, share, subscribe, send this to someone I believe will help them with their communication. Again, this works in marriage. It works in friendships. And obviously it works with God all the time. And that's how you know it's a principle. It works right across the board. God bless you.